Hi all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Well, here we go again. Another young pregnant woman murdered by the baby's father. Only this time, it was an accident, according to the suspect. Let's see if we agree, shall we? According to news reports, police in Graham, Texas were called to the Executive Inn on Highway 16 South in Graham on September 11th, where they say they found paramedics treating 19-year-old Chloe Moore, who was 16 weeks pregnant, for a gunshot wound. Police say Chloe was staying at the Executive Inn with her boyfriend, Gage Gillentine, who is the father of her baby. Shortly after police arrived on scene, they say Chloe was transported to a nearby hospital where she was pronounced dead. Police said when they questioned Gage about what happened, he couldn't keep his story straight. First, he said he wasn't in the room when it happened. Then he said he was in the bathroom when it happened. Then he said he was trying to take the slide off the handgun and it just went off. Okay, I have something to say here. Now, I'm not making light of accidental shootings. There was actually just one on the news a couple cities away from me last week, where two boys were supposedly playing with a handgun, and one boy was shot and killed. So, I know it happens. But it absolutely amazes me how many people claim to have accidentally shot someone in the same room as them. I mean, what are the chances that the person you shoot is in the direct line of fire from where you're pointing the gun? Accidentally. I don't know. Wouldn't you point it in the opposite direction of anyone in the room if you're loading it or cleaning it or whatever? I don't know if you've ever shot a gun or not, but I did as part of a self-defense class I took. And even though I got much better over time, even aiming at a target and trying to hit it can be difficult. But apparently he's a really good accidental shot. Anyway, after bouncing around a few stories that police weren't buying into, he decided to tell the truth. He told police he pointed the gun at Chloe and pulled the trigger. But it was still an accident. 'Cause, see, he didn't know there was a bullet in the chamber. So, before you get all judgmental, guys, he didn't know. Now, I did read in the news that he claimed to load the magazine before shooting Chloe, but he was unaware of the round in the chamber, so it's not his fault. Now, aside from the fact that he had a gun in his possession in the first place, or that he had a loaded gun around a pregnant woman, or that he was being irresponsible and playing around with it, or that he even pointed it in her general direction, or that he pointed it directly at her and pulled the trigger, you know, just for fun, I have an issue. I don't know how much he knows about guns, but all you have to do is pull back the slide to see that there's a bullet in the chamber ready to fire. And he didn't even do that before he decided to play around and pull the trigger? I'm going to go out on one of my tangents here and call BS. Why? Because he had the gun with him in a motel. I doubt he had a concealed carry license to carry it legally, unless Texas is an open carry state, and unless he had it to feel like a big man, he had it for protection. And if he had it for protection, I bet he made sure he kept that thing loaded and ready to go. Just my opinion. Could he have forgotten it was loaded? Maybe. But if you're going to be stupid enough to point it at someone and pull the trigger, you'd better make damn sure it isn't, which he neglected to do. Anyway, police say they found the circumstances surrounding Chloe and her baby's death suspicious, so they arrested Gage and charged him with murder. He's currently at the Young County Jail with a bond of $500,000. One of Chloe's friends described her as a beautiful, wild, and wonderful girl and said she would have been an amazing mother to her baby. Chloe's mother, Debbie Moore, who must be going through absolute hell right now, said her daughter was excited about having her first baby. She said she didn't really know Gage well, and that her daughter had been dating him for around 6 months. And then she said something that I found to be most interesting. She said, "He didn't allow us to see her that much. We talked a lot on the phone." He didn't allow us to see her that much. He didn't allow us. Accident, you say? What do you think? Horrible, horrible accident? Or controlling, possessive boyfriend? If you've watched any of my previous videos, then you already know what I think. But we are in the good old USA, where he's considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So if you're a big old meanie who thinks he should be charged with first-degree murder and the death of his unborn child, because all the evidence points to it and it's obvious, shame on you. It was an accident. He said so himself. But I'll go easy on you in the comments if you suggest otherwise, 'cause I'm nice like that, and I like you. Okay, that's it for that case. But if you're bored out of your mind and you want to hear me go on about nothing, there was a tragic case that took place in my hometown back some years ago that this case reminded me of. It was so huge that it ended up on an episode of Forensic Files called Naked Justice. It involved a lawyer who started an affair with a judge and needed to get rid of his pregnant wife. So, he took her out on a date to a shooting range. Afterward, they went home, and he claimed his wife accidentally shot herself in the head while trying to load her gun. And of course, he had gunpowder residue on his hands because he had just taken her to the shooting range. She died that night, and he was absolutely devastated. During the investigation, police determined from the bullet's trajectory and the splatter pattern that there was no possible way she could have shot herself. And upon further investigation, they found that many of the cases he was working on were assigned to one specific judge. So, they put two and two together, and now he's serving a life sentence for the death of his wife, when he could have just filed for divorce and lived happily ever after with the woman he loved. Even worse, he and his wife already had a child together. He dropped her off to the babysitter so he could kill her mother that night. What a monster. If you get a chance, you should look up the episode of Forensic Files. It was a very interesting case. The judge was barely reprimanded for her misconduct in the case. I think she was suspended from the bench for a short period of time, then resumed working as if nothing happened. We couldn't believe it. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. Welcome. And to all of you who have been putting up with me for a while now. You're the best. Take care, and I'll see you on my next video.